Hey again from the garden, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. So I'm out here this afternoon doing one of my favorite things of the year. It's not even cut flower related. I'm going to harvest all of my pumpkins today. Now I grow all of my pumpkins specifically for a big market which happens to be in 1 week. It's called the Made and Found Midwest Market. It's in Anthon, Iowa, and I take lots of jelly jar arrangements. I take large mixed bouquets, but then I also take small and medium sized specialty pumpkins. So today I'm going to harvest all of these pumpkins. Like I said, I am a week out and I'm harvesting them a week before for a couple of reasons. The first one is pumpkins usually take about 7 to 10 days to cure. I really like the stems to be nice and dry by the time that I sell them, so I'm doing it today. The other reason is next week I just don't think I'm going to have time with getting all the flowers ready and harvesting and packing up, so today is the day. So before I actually go harvest all the pumpkins, I just want to show you all the areas I have them growing. I have one main area and then about 3 other areas where I'm growing them. So let me show you those first and then we will get to harvesting. I should also mention that after I get done harvesting them, I'm going to go through all of the varieties and show you what I grew this year. So this is the fenced-in area of my garden, and this is where I have always grown cut flowers. This year I expanded to other areas, but I grew a couple hills of pumpkins in here this year, which it's actually getting to be kind of a maze in here right now. I will not be growing pumpkins in here next year because everything just overlaps too much, but I have a trellis right here that I have one pumpkin plant on, and you can see it has come out on top of my status, which is fine. The status is still okay, but I don't think I will be doing that again. But we're gonna dig in here and see what is in here today. And then over here, past my dahlias, way at the end along the fence, I have one pumpkin plant right here that's a casparita. It is going this way and it is going all the way into my path, which you can see some pumpkins right in there. I know there are a ton of casparita in here. And then if we pan right about here, there is another pumpkin plant. Actually, I think 2. I think one is hot chocolate and one is grizzly, and I know that is also growing here. It's growing on the outside of the fence. I kind of thought it would just fill up that corner, but it's going all in my flower bed and it's going all the way down the pathway all the way to the other end of the garden. So we're going to dig into this whole half of the garden and see what pumpkins are in here. Okay, so the rest of my pumpkins are all on the outside of the fence. And if you've watched my videos before, you know that I have a big pumpkin bed. It goes all the way the length of the building that is next to me. This pumpkin bed is 96 feet long. And in here I have, maybe 18 to 20 hills of pumpkins. Now you can see my volunteer sunflowers are about done for the season. I honestly don't think I have as many pumpkins out here this year because of the volunteer sunflowers, and they shaded them out at the beginning of the season, which is unfortunate, so I know to never let those grow again. But I do still think all along here that there is a decent amount of pumpkins. A couple of these vines, I actually don't see any pumpkins on, but if we pan over here, this huge pumpkin plant, I think this is a blaze. There has got to be pumpkins in there. So crossing my fingers that I just have a whole bunch hidden. I do also, along this bed, I have 2 watermelon plants in here, and then there is some rhubarb in there. So it's not 100% pumpkins, but the 96 feet is mostly all pumpkins. This is the other spot where I have pumpkins, and these are all of my mini pumpkins. Now this trellis is the Titan squash tunnel from Gardener's Supply. I grew pumpkins on it last year and it worked really, really good. So there's 6 legs on this trellis, and I planted a few seeds at each leg and they can trellis over. And you can see they're coming out here, they're in those plants, they're coming out here. They are just kind of everywhere. I really love the look of the top of the trellis here with all those little mini pumpkins growing on it. I think it's so cute. Now I have come in from this area and I've already harvested about 30 pumpkins from just this trellis, but I want to get in here and see what else is in here. I do think I am going to leave quite a few on the vine, maybe down at the bottom here, because I want to bring my daughter in this weekend and have her help me. She's 3, and I think that she would think that was super awesome. The last area that I have pumpkins growing is way back at the back of the property, and you can see it's coming over into the parking area of the neighboring building. There's a little trellis here with a few cucumbers vining up, but you can see, whoops, I have some nice pumpkins in there. I'm hoping there's quite a few that are hidden in here. There is some mini orange pumpkins growing on the trellis, and this pumpkin vine, I mean, it went all the way from that side all the way to this side. I don't see a ton of pumpkins in there, but like I said, I hope that they are hidden. I do know that there are a few new ones starting. Look how cute that is. This is a variety called Silver Edge. Now, some of these new ones that are starting obviously aren't going to be ready for my market next week, but I'll be able to keep harvesting them, and I'll have them for fall. These raised beds are where my potatoes were and still are. A majority of them haven't been dug yet, so I probably need to get that done in the next week too. So one other thing that I did want to mention is how I tell if the pumpkins are ready to harvest or not. So aside from their color, which this one you can see, well, let me focus on it a little better for you. This one clearly is a little bit light, so it's not ready yet. But if you look at the stem, this stem is still very green. You want the stems to be very dark green and almost have a dry appearance. That is when you know they're ready to harvest. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up my camera while I harvest in all the different areas, and then when I'm done, I'll show you the whole pumpkin haul that I have and go through all of the varieties. I also want to mention that I get a majority of my seeds from the Blue Pumpkin Seed Company. They have wonderful prices, and they have a great variety of specialty pumpkins. I highly recommend checking out their company. So I'll link that down below, but I'm going to go get busy harvesting. Okay, you guys, so it's actually the next day. As you could see in the video, my daughter and I finished harvesting. Now, this is not everything. There's actually still a lot of pumpkins out there, one of which is my favorite varieties. It's called Snowball. It's a little medium-sized white pumpkin, and I just didn't think that the stems were quite dark enough on those. There's probably about 8 to 10 of those out there, and so I'm going to leave them in there a few more days and then hopefully harvest those by the end of the week, and then I will be able to take all of those to the market as well. But I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys what I did harvest, and so I'm just going to go through the varieties for you really quick. The first one, it's a little black pumpkin called Midnight. I just love these. They remind me of Halloween, and they're a really nice, cute size. Now, when harvesting Midnight, you do want to harvest them when they are completely black. If you leave them on the vine too long, they will start reverting to orange, and so you want to make sure that you do harvest them when they're black. But these are really good producers, and I'm definitely going to be growing these every year. Another one of my favorites is hot chocolate, which is this tan pumpkin. The stems on these are super thick, but I just really love the color. And the other one that is really close to this is the warty ones. These are grizzly. They're the same color, but they have the bumps on them. So those two definitely really mix well together, but hot chocolate is definitely one of my favorites. There's also a few more of these still left in the garden. I just wanted to give them a little bit more time. Another one of my favorites, and this one sold out in my booth last year, this is Blaze. Now this is the orange and yellow striped pumpkin. There are quite a few more of these left also, but I didn't think that the yellow and the orange were quite bright enough and the stems were dark enough. So I'm also giving those a little bit more time, but these are really heavy producers. Again, these sold out in my booth last year. So these are just a really, really good pumpkin that always seems to sell for me. And this one kind of looks similar. This was a self-seeded pumpkin. I'm wondering if this is a mix between the Blaze and possibly a mellow yellow that I planted last year. I don't know. I'm trying to decide whether I should sell this or if I should keep it, save the seeds and plant it next year to see if I can get the same thing. What do you guys think? I really kind of like it. So for mini pumpkins in the basket here, I have Hooligan. These are heavy, heavy producers. You really get a lot of pumpkins per vine, which is always the goal. I love the coloring on these. They almost, you know, kind of look like a mini Blaze, but they do have some green specks throughout some of them. So these I'm going to be planting next year. Casparita is always a really popular one. Baby Boo is the smaller version that's a mini white pumpkin. These are a little bit bigger, which I like. The Hooligan and the Casparita, I'm going to put these in their own baskets, and I have maybe 30 to 40 more of these already inside, so I'll have a lot of the mini pumpkins to sell. But these I think I'm going to sell like 2 for $3. I think that that'll be a really great price. I did get some random little mini all orange pumpkins. I don't know where these came from, if I had a random seed planted, but these are really cute too, so those will be in the mix. And then one of my all-time favorites, you guys have got to grow this. It's called Black Futsu. So they start off looking a little bit of kind of the green and cream, almost the colors of a speckled hound. But once they age on the vine, they turn this mauvish gray. And let me tell you, these flew out of my booth last year. Now, there's more on the vine. I have quite a few harvested inside. I don't think I could ever grow enough of these. Next year, I may grow like 4 vines just of this one. I think the coloring is beautiful. They're also a pretty good producer. So Black Futsu, put it on your grow list. And the last one I want to show you are these really pretty green and white striped. These are Silver Edge. And again, I still have more out on the vine. They weren't quite big enough. I don't know if these I'm gonna have more ready for the market, but just something different in that muted color palette. I think they really mix with the hot chocolate well if you wanna go for more of a subdued decoration, you know, with the white pumpkins. They're really pretty. I think they're technically in the squash family, but Silver Edge. And the vines on these are super long, so you want to make sure that you have a really big open area to grow these, but definitely a winner. So compared to last year, my harvest definitely wasn't as big. I probably have half of the pumpkins I did as I did last year. I know it was my fault with the doubling up in the bed, and so next year I know I'm going to be planting things different, only pumpkins. I'm not going to try to plant some sunflowers ahead of time to use the space, you know, for dual plantings. And we also had a drought this year, and I don't think that my drip was running 100% consistent, but I will try again next year. I wanted to share a few of the varieties that I didn't show you today. I wrote them down on a post-it because I knew I wouldn't remember. Mint Prince, there are a couple out there. They're not ready yet. It's a really pretty green variety. I grew it last year and really liked it. And then I had 4 varieties that I tried for the first time this year that I don't know if I have a single pumpkin out there. Strawberry Crown, I really wanted some of these because of the deep mauve coloring, but you know, I can always try it again for next year. Kikazoo was one I thought was super different that would sell well in my booth. Cheeramin, another one I thought was really unique, and then Chinese tropical. So I did purchase those from a different company than I normally order from because I thought they were so unique. So I don't know if it was the seed, the drought conditions, me, I'm not sure, but I'll try them again next year. But I just thought I wanted to share those with you guys in case you wanted to try something really unique. So anyway, that is the 2023 pumpkin harvest video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all the varieties that I grew. All of these are going to go to the market next weekend to sell. I will have multiple videos on that market with my prep and setting up. I'm going to take you along to the market. It's going to be a big one, so I'm really excited. So stay tuned for all of that. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you soon.